Why is there no music?
Nothing to hold me back. Take my time, just enjoy the ride.
I like this music so much, we're going to start it again.
A new place, a new home. For a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back. Take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by. Life is good, best I ever felt. Get me up, something new, so I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way.
You know that I'ma keep it cool. With you I feel like breaking rules. On the edge, looking out with no parachute. You know I'm dreaming about us two, playing around without a clue. On the edge, leaning out. With us it's all or nothing. Oh, but guess I need more of you. With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say it during night, but in the morning you're asleep. With us it's all or nothing. Oh, but guess I need more of you. With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say it during night, but in the morning you're asleep. Think you're toxic to my mind, but I know they don't know what you're all about. The way you hold my body tight, staying up talking through the night. Yeah, I know they just don't. With us it's all or nothing. Oh, but guess I need more of you. With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say it during night, but in the morning you just sleep. I need more of. With us it's all or nothing. Oh, but guess I need more of you. Why don't you stay? Why don't we talk about this? Why don't you stay? Why don't we talk about this? With us it's all or nothing. Oh, but guess I need more of you. With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say way you do it night, but in the morning you just sleep. With us it's all or nothing.
You're muted.
I hate that. I hit my button so I wasn't on mute. That's all right. I love the music.
I love that. It makes me so happy.
I know that the all or nothing thing is about like a relationship, like a intimate.
You're right,
like, you know what? It's if you take that part out of it, it's like, yeah, with you and I, it's all or nothing. Like there's no halfway. There's I kind of maybe sort of. No, that's not happening.
That's not how we do here.
Yeah, so I like those two songs. I thought they were fun, and the Bitmojis are fun. Hey, friend, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am COVID free, which is so exciting since you were not.
I was not.
No.
But so Lindsey, remember the lady that sweet lady we met?
Wonderful. Love her so very much.
Oh my gosh, she is such a delight. She joined my Facebook group and like is super active already.
She joined mine too.
She's so really precious. I love her.
Yeah.
I love her. Look, I'm just going to be straight with you. If I can afford to hire her to manage my newsletter, I'm doing it.
I was thinking it. But considering
I said it. Because like
I'm still trying to get paid on other stuff, and I'm like,
like also just like we became friends on Facebook and like following her personal page, like she has it together at a level for newsletters that I don't.
Yeah, she's really good, and she's
really good. And I'm really glad we met her. But she commented, like, someone asked how I was doing in my Facebook group because Dave posted, like, hey, Lindsey has COVID. Like, she's not gonna, like, we're gonna miss deadlines. And everybody was super chill about it, and I'm so grateful. And everyone's like, take it easy, don't overdo it. Like, everybody's worried that I'm gonna jump back in too hard instead of like, where's my stuff? Everyone's like, just take some time off. And so I saw that while I was just like in my stupor on the couch. And so I responded, I was like, oh, well, like tomorrow is my day 5 and I'm on Paxlovid and like I've been boosted and I have my vaccine. So hopefully I'll be done. And, you know, I'm feeling a lot better. And it's like a whole bunch of people commented with their COVID experiences about how they were just really tired for a long time or whatever the case may be. And then like a couple days later, it popped back up on my feed because like someone else had commented. So it popped it back to the top. And it was Lindsey, and she was like, oh, well, you're in really good company. A lot of people came back from Marketer's Heart with COVID.
You know, and let's just be real, y'all. Like, I drank after Lindsey when we were there.
Like, because she wanted to taste my cocktail. That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want to taste
But, like, it's alcohol, so maybe that saved it?
I don't know, but we were in the same room for 4 or 5 days in the car together. Like, we were together. We weren't
like, there was not 6 feet of distance between her and I when we were sleeping in
I was in the shower. She's at the sink. Like, we were together, people. But I did not get sick. Thank God I did not get sick.
Oh, my God. As soon as I started feeling bad, I was like, I think I have COVID. Check yourself. To which
my response was, no!
I know. And the only thing I could think was, oh my God, she has game day. She cannot get sick. I was like, please, Lord, don't let Marley get sick. Please, Lord, put your hands on Marley. Don't let her get sick. Please, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
I was
my husband, he was
I wasn't worried about me being sick. I was like, don't give it to Marley.
I was like, you know, John, after your wife is away for several days, like any husband is usually like, I cannot wait for you to get home. Wink, wink. You know, so after the wink, wink is when I got your message and he was like, oh, I said, what, now you won't kiss me? And he's like, and I said, honey, just so you know, if I have it, you have it now. Like full on, you have it.
Yeah, Dave was like, I'm not going to get it. I was like, you have it. And he was like, no, I don't. I was like, you do, boo. And he's like, no, I'm good. I'm good. And 2 days, it was like 36 hours after I tested positive. He was like, I am sick. I'm like, I know.
Oh,
but like for those 2 days, like we tried, right? Like I slept in the guest room and because like I was going to flop around like a fish no matter what because I couldn't sleep because I have a very high pain tolerance. I have had migraines since I was 8 years old. I have a pain tolerance that most people do not think is reasonable. It's probably not. And when I couldn't get medication because of a lot of weird, not reasonable things because it was a Saturday, I actually, with the COVID positive test, was told by medical professionals, I will never understand this, to go into a walk-in clinic to receive care. I'm like, I am COVID positive. They're like, yeah, come on in.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just like,
I was so mad.
I was glad you got your medicine.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Dave is doing okay. I'm really glad I didn't get it.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you didn't get it.
Because it wasn't like you had COVID, but then Josiah at the house was not feeling good. Alora wasn't feeling good. I'm like, I am surrounded by sick people. But
yeah.
always jokes around and says, I never get sick. Like he's always like, you never get sick. And I'm like, yeah, I do. Like when I get sick, like I am sick.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to get sick. But
so when I was driving myself home from the walk-in clinic, which like you need to be clear, that walk-in clinic is less than 1.5 miles from my house, and I don't have to get on a main road. Like I'm only on back roads. There's not even a stoplight.
Yeah.
When I got in the car and they were like, oh, we're going to call in your prescription for cough medicine and for Paxlovid, you can go pick it up. I was like, okay. My pharmacy is like 1/2 mile past my house. Also not a main road, no stop signs, no stoplights. So I was like, I'll just drive there and get it right when I walk out the door. I got in my car and burst into tears. I was in so much pain. Like every joint in my body ached. I felt like my bones were humming, if that makes any sense. I was in so much pain. I called Dave sitting in the parking lot and I was like, I can't go to the pharmacy. And he's like, why not? Like, did they not give you the medication? You went in there with COVID. They didn't even, he's livid, right? He's like, what is life? And I'm like, I was like, I can't do it. I'm in so much pain. And like, I just start sobbing. And like, we've been together almost 20 years. So like, for me to be crying in pain, I am not okay. And so Dave was like, can you make it home? And I was like, yeah, I have to make it home. And he's like, no, you don't. Like, I can come get you. I'm like, I am not putting a non-COVID person in a car with a COVID person.
Right.
I already did that with Marley. I'm not doing it again. And so he's like, okay, we'll just stay on the phone with me until you get home. And like, I just sobbed all the way home. And of course, the one thing you want is like a hug, right? Yes. And he's like, I want to hug you so bad. I'm like, it's okay. I'm just going to lay on the couch with the dog. It's fine. Oh my God. I was in so much pain. And like, thankfully the Paxlovid worked really quickly for me. I took that dose that afternoon, like that when I finally got it, I took that first dose that afternoon and my fever broke that night. So that's like good. The aches went away really fast, but oh my gosh, I was in so much pain. Like I could deal with, I was congested and that I felt bad, but the body, oh my God.
Yeah.
No.
I hear you.
No.
Well, I'm glad you're better. And Robin and I did game day. It was a success. This is one of the necklaces. This is actually the first prototype that I made.
I know it is. That's the I like it. If you had brought that one to Louisiana, that one probably wouldn't have made it.
I actually did. It was in the basket of beads, but
you never went in them.
I guess we never went in the basket of beads. We just wore all the samples.
We did wear all the samples. But like, also, can I tell you the number of people who were like, I am so jealous of your sweater? I was like, you should be. Like you got up and went to the bathroom and like 5 people behind us were like, where'd you get that sweater? I was like, oh, my friend made it. And they're like, she made it? I was like, yeah, that's her job. Like, yeah. So and they're like, I'm just so cold. I'm like, you should be a knitter. My friend can teach you how.
Well, I put it out there. I was like, hey, we're at a marketing event, networking event. I've got a ton of samples. I will lend you guys a sample to wear if you will promote me on Instagram or something. I was like, let's exchange something here. Nobody took me up on it. I was like, all right, that's fine. It's fine. It's good. New Orleans was cool. It was fun to be with you and hang out. So that's been good.
I learned a lot. I learned a whole lot.
No, I learned a ton.
Like
so
much.
I really, 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 really love Funnel Gorgeous. And I really like the way Julie and Kathy run their business and do what they do. The event as a whole for me was a little bit not where I wanted it to be, not because of them or the teaching per se. It was more of do you guys ever go to an event and you feel like you're the outsider of a clique? And like you're not really welcome in the conversations, even though they're encouraging you to be part of the networking conversations, and you try and you totally feel like you are, why is this girl talking to me? Or, oh, I just got to talk to her. Or who else could we go talk to? Like that's literally how I felt.
Yeah.
Almost the entire weekend. Yeah. There were a few people that did not make me feel that way. Lindley was one of them.
Karen, that sweet lady Karen, she's great.
Yeah, she was great. And then Charisse. She was very lovely. I liked her a lot too.
And she won her ticket, which I thought was super cool.
which I like following her too on Facebook.
Yeah,
but as a
great.
whole, like, I don't like feeling that way. And I get it. Like it could be just a me problem. It totally could be a me problem of this is how I felt. But you guys know me. I'm an extrovert. I'm a total extrovert.
You will talk to a brick wall, friend.
Yeah. And we tried. We actively tried to talk to people. It just was not well received, but regardless of that, the information was wonderful. I still fully support, like, I shouldn't say still, I 100% support Funnel Gorgeous, and Julie and Kathy are amazing. I think they do wonderful things. And I learned a lot. I totally learned a lot.
Deal. I mean, like, full stop, the girl who talked about making reels for your business and how they don't have, like, you don't have to make it fancy.
Yeah.
Like, even though, like, when I look at her reels and their performance versus my reels and their performance, or like your reels and their performance, like, she doesn't have the same kind of reach that you do. It was still really good information that I would not have thought to do. Does that make sense?
I have a reel that's going viral right now. Can I just tell you that?
I know. I saw it last night.
It's viral for me.
Yeah,
it's like over 500,000 views, and I'm like, what? Like, what's going on?
I saw that because Dave was asking me about it, like, because I didn't really get to talk to him about Marketer's Heart because I came home and was sick.
Yeah,
and so he was like, so, you know, what did y'all learn? Da 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 da. Right, and I was like, oh, well, like, this was a thing that I learned about Reels. I said, but at the same time, like, if you look, and so I went to her page and I showed him her reel views, and he's like, yeah, those are really good. I'm like, yeah, they're really good. And then I went to my page and showed him mine, and he was like, well, yours are a little better. I'm like, yeah, but, you know, I have a weird audience. Like, we're, you know, knitters are a weird group. And he was like, sure. I said, and then I went to yours, and he was like, yeah, Marley should have been on the stage.
Well, you know, and it's not to discount.
Not at all. She's great at what she does.
Yeah, she has a very unique perspective. Yeah. It's just interesting, right? I mean, shit, I'm just going to be honest. I feel like I'm just throwing darts at a blank wall and I'm hoping something hits a target. Like, that's really where I am. If I'm just being 100% honest.
The best description of running a small business I've ever heard.
I'm like, what's going to stick? It's almost like, you know, when you do spaghetti and you're like, does it stick to the wall? Like, that's what I feel like I'm doing all the time. I'm like, is this going to work? For example,
Robin and I spaghetti at a wall.
You haven't, to see if it sticks? Oh, I learned that on like the Food Network.
No, you just taste it?
No, I've done that too, but you can throw it to the wall and see if it sticks.
My mother
trust me, somebody back me up on this.
I know that it's a thing people do, but like, I don't have a wall in my kitchen to throw pasta
at your husband at something. No, but like, so like, we're always trying something just a little bit different. So like right now, I just released 2 videos for the amigurumi fox, Felix the Fox, which is out, guys. Felix the Fox pattern is out. He is adorable. You can make him any size you want. Like, he's adorable. Okay.
I love him.
So
I love him.
It's so cute. We did not do our traditional, like, hey, here's how you make the whole fox. It's here's how you're going to make the head or the body, which is essentially how you make the head. Like, we just took little bits out. For the body, we just didn't add any words. It's just music. It's just showing how to do what you do. I'm like, we're going to just try this. Because there are other people that are taking videos similar to this that are having success with that. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try it with this. In no way am I going to make all of my videos that way. But for little things like this, it's like, well, let's see what sticks. Let's see what works. Because, you know, you always have to pivot. You have to pivot.
I mean, like, okay, so we talked about this while we were in Louisiana. You remember that I told you that crazy bag that I saw on like some reel in one of my Facebook groups?
Yes, I saw it too. By the way, I just want to point that out.
Look, I know people do it, but my mother would have I would not be alive. My mom would have murdered me. And my Italian family would have been like, what is that? So
just saying.
Also, like, here you go. I didn't know there was different times for different pastas. Like, this pasta is 7 minutes. This pasta is 5 minutes. This pasta is 11 minutes. Because in my family, you just taste it. And then when it's al dente, you're done. So like, I didn't know there was even times on the back of the packages. Had no idea.
That's awesome.
You know, it's just how you're raised. Like,
I get it.
But so anyway, that bag I told you about that I'm like dying to figure out. And I found one online and they're definitely not charging enough for it. For sure, they are not charging enough for it. Like, I could not charge that price just for that material.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. It has 6 zippers. 6 zippers.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot. A handle, 3 kinds of straps. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It came in. I love that bag more than I can say. Do I think I can produce that bag? No. I do not.
Well, I'm glad you like it though.
I mean, I hate the fabric that it's in. But I'm also a fabric snob, and I own that. I own it. But like, but I also really want to figure it out.
I bet. I mean, if anybody could, you could.
But I bet to make it apart. That's the problem.
Oh yeah, that's hard. That's
I have to start taking it apart.
But you know, like that's half the battle. Like, so for me, you guys, I mean, if you don't know, those of you who have seen my ribbed for him and her hat, ribbed for him and her hat, it has like a fantastic crocheted brim.
Love
fantastic.
That. Yeah.
It doesn't require any like stiffener or anything inside. You can, but you don't need it. Like it's amazing. I learned that because I bought a hat at Nordstrom's that had that brim, and I'm like, how do you do this? And I took the hat apart and I filmed myself taking the hat apart, and it was knit. So then I recreated it in crochet, and I was like, this is brilliant. But I filmed myself undoing it so that way I could watch, so I wouldn't have to rely on my memory. And I was like, let's go back and see, what did that look like? Oh, okay. All right. I see. But sometimes you have to do that. I mean, how many times have I told you I buy patterns? Literally, I read them like a novel.
Yeah.
Like, how did they do the shaping like that? What did they do to make the shoulders look like that? And I've been paying attention more to like ready to wear, menswear, especially. If you've ever paid attention, the shoulder seams on menswear, it's not on the shoulder, you guys, it's in the back. Mm-hmm. Like it's in the back. So the back looks sort of like trapezoidish, and then the shoulders are all one piece that seam, and then it's in the back. So you don't get like a big hump or anything, and it doesn't roll up on the man's shoulders. I don't know, things like that.
That's how this shirt is. That's
a lot of it's made like that.
Honestly, why I love this shirt, because it doesn't gape in the front.
Because it doesn't gape for. The other thing, like I paid attention when I was at Disney, I was like, okay, so they are whipping out all these Disney designs, right? And a lot of the sweatshirts are made one particular way, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's because it's rectangles. There's no shaping to that sweatshirt. No. It's basic rectangles, zoom, you can stitch that up and you have yourself a sweatshirt. So
honestly, it's a project bag with sleeves.
Yeah. I'm just thinking through things like that. So I mean, I get it. I get the idea of having to take things apart and
like I mean, look, like I do not like the fabric that it is in. It was the only option they had, and I was like, worst case scenario, I learned something. Best case scenario, I'll love this bag. But I mean, it is not my choice for fabric. Like I would never pick this in my real life. But like, I can't even figure out where to start taking it apart.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, where did they turn it? Where's the seam? That's how you start taking a bag apart. You have to take it where they turn it out. You take it out. Can't find it.
Wow.
Yeah. And like, they're obviously made overseas somewhere to help with rehabilitation for women, men, children who have experienced trauma of some kind. I'm not going to go into all the ones that could be overseas, because there are so many. And so like, it's obviously like, they have a mission statement that's in the bag. Like they had a card in the bag that I could read about like what it does. It teaches them a skill, that they have a trade that then they can go use. But I'm like, you could also pay them more.
Yeah.
Cause like, I mean, this bag was sold out for 2 weeks. Like I was checking it every day to try and find the stupid pattern. So there you have it.
All right. So I want to take a moment and just tell everybody the game day mystery make along. It's obviously been revealed. This is the knit one. Robin, you want to come on and show the crochet one? Yeah, I'm making you.
You're having a good hair day.
Ah, look at you. There she is.
Yeah, I'm doing my work back here, making sure everything's running smoothly.
She's the wizard.
Yeah.
She's the wizard.
So here's one of the extra bracelets from the VIP package. We got another one here too. The one that you wrap it around 3 times.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, the wraps are a lot of
fun. I did a magnetic clasp, so that way, right? So it's just real easy. Like you could just pop it on.
You know how I love a magnet.
Yeah. It's just real good. But and then you have the necklace. So all the charms we put together or she put together and make different necklaces.
So we have the charms, and then we were telling everybody who bought the MVP that we went a little crazy. Well, big surprise. I went a little crazy. So for game day, there was 5 charms. You could put them together however you wanted to put them together. And then in the MVP package, we gave 3 more where the videos are still coming.
Yeah.
3 more charms. But then we added additional patterns. So then technically it's actually another 13 charms. It's not just, so you're getting 18 charms. So you really truly can.
I love that, because like the ones that I've seen in y'all's group of the crochet charms, like it reminds me of that necklace that you always wear that everybody wants.
That was the idea.
Like, I mean, legit, I have tried to find that necklace on the internet. Absolutely.
Yeah. So like everybody should have
love that you can make it on your own, like however statement-y you want to get. Like you can build it. I love that.
And then for the other ones in MVP, I showed you other ways of adding beads. There's a bunch of other ways of adding beads. So, but like one of the ones was this cuff. So this is Tunisian.
Yeah, that's fun.
I love
so I have the other ones by me. I pack them away.
We did 5 beaded knit beads wraps, and then I have this bracelet, this bracelet. There's a scarf pattern.
Another bracelet,
the Audra cuff bracelet,
and then another. How many beads did you do?
So 5 total.
Yeah.
So there's the 3 that came like that with it all, and then 2 extras. And it's fun. We sold out of all of the kits that were with Jill Wiseman.
That's fantastic.
Like, sold them all out.
Yeah.
And it was successful, but I want to make sure people know the free pattern comes off of the website at the end of the month, and the game day MVP is going to go in the vault. Now, that does not mean if you bought it, you can't get in it anymore. You own it. Like
it just means that you can't buy it.
You can't buy it after that. Yeah. So if you would like to buy the MVP package, or get the free whatever, follow along. The link is right there at the bottom of the screen. We'll make sure we put it in the video description box too. So yeah, and these are great. I'm just going to say that they're great.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea was just to get people inspiration and excited about something else.
Yeah.
Something different. Fun. And it wasn't so much that you had to make exactly what Marley and I were making. The whole point was like letting you be your own designer and just give you some basic tips so that you could go. Because I find, and I'm sure Marley's the same way, like whenever I would teach my jewelry classes, that was half the fun of it, is seeing, okay, here's the technique. Now you go, and then you come up with like 30 different designs all from like one thing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So hopefully other people found it fun.
Yeah, it reached a lot. It's a broader audience, right? We lost some audience because they're just like, I don't want to make jewelry. It is what I get that. So
but one day.
Yeah. It was like, let's just learn something fun, learn something different, and have a good time with it. So game day was really good. It was really good, but I want to make sure people don't miss out on that.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going behind the scenes.
No, go ahead.
Our special guest will be coming.
Go ahead.
So I want to make sure.
Yeah.
That's it. And just as a side note, right now, I am working with a tech guy right now to figure out why my marleybirdhouse.com is not working. Like, what I mean by that is if you typed in Marley Birdhouse, it would say it was like a 401 error or 404 error or something.
Weird.
So I'm working behind the scenes on that. You can still get there from the VIP link.
Yeah.
But so don't freak out. It's still around. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Something's going on with the DNS. It's not wanting to read it.
Love that DNS.
Trying to figure that out. Yeah, that stuff is fun. It might be that we have to add www in front of it. That's what we're trying to figure out. We're trying to figure that all out.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's
okay.
I hate that.
It's my own doing. It's because I'm trying to get the custom domain www.marleybirdhouse.com to member vault, and something's going on and it won't work. So I'm like, I'm at a stopping point. I'm like, I have followed the instructions
and
I don't know.
You need a specialist.
Yeah. So I'm like, now I'm stuck because now it doesn't go anywhere. Now it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So anyways, it's still there.
Websites. So much fun.
Websites are fun. I'm getting a new website, everybody. Did I tell you that?
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm very excited.
I'm excited that I got to see a little bit of it. Like, I know my opinion does not matter.
Yeah.
But like, because it's not my website. But like what I saw, I am so in love with. I cannot put it into words.
I like it very much. Laura saw it last night for the first time and she was like, I love the rainbows. It's the clue. And I'm like, I know. She goes, my daughter. This is my daughter, y'all. Because she's so literal about some things. And I'm just like, seriously. So I'm showing her the website and I'm like, does this not say Marley Bird? And I said, before you comment, of course, I know it says Marley Bird at the top of the screen, but like the aesthetic. And she goes, well, I was going to say it says Marley Bird. I'm like, son of a bitch. Like, seriously, I know that, but does that not look like Marley Bird? And she goes, well, it has your logo on there. I'm like,
Laura, get past your analytical mind, boo.
Like, stop being so dense. Like, is that not like, that's my style? She's like, well, yeah, it's your style. Like, yeah. I'm like, yes, it is. It's fantastic.
Well, like, okay, so the story goes is that Marley found out that she had like the first draft, for lack of a better word, of the website design. Yeah. And she had a meeting at 9 a.m. the day we're headed to New Orleans. So she's like, can I just do that before we leave? I'm like, oh my God, that's fine. Like, whenever we leave is fine. We'll just drive and get there when we get there, whatever. And so she's like, well, I want you to come look at it. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she's like, be on this call with me. And I'm like, okay. But
does this not shock you? This is how the system works. Come hand out gifts at the PJ party. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Like, and now I'm glad that I was, because I knew some things to ask that you wouldn't have because of my Shopify site. Yes. So like, I'm really glad that I was there to ask those questions and kind of work through that. So I'm really grateful that I was able to be a part of it, like in any small way. But like the first one that she showed me, she's like, it just doesn't feel like me. Like, it feels really stiff. It just isn't, it feels like it's been starched. Yeah. Like there's no like, hey, we're going to do these fun things. It's like,
yes,
that was what I didn't like about it. And now cause they redid it and sent her like an update, like the next day.
Yes.
Which is insane turnaround for any design. And Marley was like, oh my God, they said this. And so like at lunch one day, we run back up to our room and so we can watch the little video that she put together. And I was like, love this, love this, love this, love this. And I was like, this text needs to change. That's my vote. That's my vote. This text is the wrong text. This text needs to change. Mm-hmm. And Marley was like, okay, so what else do we need to tell her? And I was like,
that's it.
That's what I got. Just that text. Just like that one little text. That's just not the font that it needs to be. That's all I got.
She listened. Like she listened to everything I said.
Oh, and she wasn't upset when you were like, don't like that, don't like that, don't like that. Like she was like great. But like, honestly, that is a good designer. Cause like I do that with William. Well, he'll send me something like, I don't like this, and this. And then I'm like, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Right. Cause I feel bad. He worked on that thing and then I had to tell him no. And so I feel really bad. And then he's like, that's my job. The more detailed feedback you can give me, the better the product will be. And so I've had to but I still apologize. I still apologize infinitely when I'm like, I don't like it. I'm so sorry I have to change these things. I still apologize. It's hard.
I get it.
That's a sign that you have a great designer, is that they want that feedback. So
what is this? Dude, open your secret leprechaun. That screams Marley too. I seriously can't wait. So Christina, are you my secret leprechaun? That's the moderators. The moderators of the Modman group. The Modmen.
Sure.
Of the
Marley Minions.
Yes, thank you. I'm like, what are they called? Gotcha. We have a secret Santa, but we literally never open at Santa, like at Santa time. So it becomes secret leprechaun. Anyways, yeah. Okay. So I can't wait to open mine. Anyways, all this is to say, I have a new website coming. It's supposed to be released at the same time, like a very big announcement that we are going to make big announcement at like in 2 weeks, big announcement. But I could use all of your support right now, y'all. There in the coming weeks, there's going to be things coming up where I'm going to be like, hey, I need some people to go and look at this X, Y, and Z on the website and help me out. That would be awesome. But that would be great. I know we have a special guest coming, but I'm so excited about it. I have to go to the potty real quick. Can I go pee real fast?
Go pee.
So I'm going to just make you full screen. I know.
Okay.
Robin's laughing at me.
I have
Robin,
a story.
You have control. I got a potty. I'm very excited.
Go potty, Marley Bird. Go potty. Okay.
Only Marley. I'm going to remove her from the stream. Only Marley gets excited so much about the special guest Don't worry.
Oh, she does not know who it is.
No, she has no idea.
She's gonna cry. She's probably gonna cry.
Yeah. So, I mean, we might as well tell everybody. So, like, Lindsey and I set this all up. Marley just shows up.
I love that she says Lindsey and I. Robin set this up and told me when to be here. Let's be clear. She's the wizard.
And so our special guest is on their way, coming in a minute or two. And then, but basically the special guest is a friend. Like, we're not like, hey, Marley, come to talk to somebody you don't know. No, it's somebody she knows. So the special guest will be here any minute. I took her off. She doesn't even know I took her off. But like, I'll put you back in.
I knew I was off. I was like, I'm very excited. That's an extreme close up.
I know it does it. It does it. But like, I like it when it's like 3 versus like when it's like that. It makes me unhappy because there's blank space.
But then my double chins aren't so pronounced.
Well, Marley, remember we have to take what we learned, and it's forward and down.
Oh, I do that, girl. I do that. That's why
funnier.
The hardest part, though, is when you're watching my videos, because I'll be like, I'm like this, and I'm talking, and I'm just like, oh, that's
not true at all.
Oh, it really is.
Also, though, I took a whole bunch of headshots when I got back. Like, I did my makeup and my hair after I felt like death, and like I came to the studio and I took photos, and then I went right home.
Oh my gosh!
And took it out. So I have to send them to you. Like, I tried to take them on my fancy camera, and I could not get a good frame. Could not get a decent frame on my good camera. And I was like, F that noise. I took them on my phone, and they're way better.
See, that works. I'm going to use the ones that Alora took of me when Robin was here. Which, by the way, Robin, when you and Chrissy are here, we're going to take some more photos, because that was one of the things that we learned there, is that you've got to continually have photos to be able to use. Just prepare yourself.
Yeah, and so look, I want to be really clear. Like, I have friends who are actual photographers. Like, I could have professional headshots. It literally never occurred to me to do. Not even once.
No.
From that person. You know, like, I look at Marley's headshots. I look at the pictures of y'all together for promotion. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so smart. Never occurred to me that I should do it for myself. Not even once.
And
so I was like, I have to have like a professional headshot for this big announcement that's coming. Like,
all right, I'm going to remove myself.
I have to get this thing. And then I had to finally do it. You know who it is now?
Oh, yay.
Hello.
I love you, friend.
I'm here.
You're wearing the Marley Made Me Do It sweater.
Heck yeah, I had to represent.
I love it.
This is one of my favorites. It's so like warm and cozy, and I love it. So I had to wear it.
Oh, I love it.
It looks so good. I love the color combo.
Thank you. I would have to say I had some FOMO when Marley had her color palette put together, because she went with like the blues and like the oceany colors, and I was like, oh, but I love mine. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I like yours. I like yours a lot. Very cool. Hi, Caitlyn. So do I like? What do we do, Lindsey? I don't know.
There's no script here. So you know Caitlyn probably better than anybody here. So I guess you should probably take this, huh?
All right. Well, hey everybody, welcome Caitlyn Mull from We Crochet to the Show. Caitlyn and I have known each other, I think we're going on like 10 years-ish. I mean, it's been a long time. She was actually one of my first more full-time assistants. Before Caitlyn, we had Tammy for a while, but then Caitlyn came on and really helped me grow Marley Bird to where we are now. And then she became so wonderful at her job that We Crochet was like, come over here. And I was like,
they stole her.
They stole her.
Yeah.
No, but I love her. She'll always be my Caitlyn. She is a fantastic crocheter. She is a knitter. She is a jewelry maker. She is an all-around wonderful individual who is kicking ass at We Crochet. I'm so incredibly proud of her. And she's here on the It's Fine, Everything's Fine show. So
everything's fine. It's fine.
Guys,
it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm fine. It's fine.
So I don't know what they told you, what we're supposed to do here.
I'm here to chat. I'm here to talk all things yarn, all things all things. It's fine.
Sweet. So my guess here is that we should talk about some of the new yarns. I know that there is a really good new yarn. If I'd have known you were coming, I'd have it on the table with me, but I don't.
You said you didn't want to know anything. We took that for.
I didn't. I don't know. But I'm guessing Robin has the affiliate link and stuff, so that we'll be able to pull that up. Yes, that yarn. So I'm just gonna give it away to you. Like, tell us about the new yarn from We Crochet.
Yeah, so we actually launched 2 new yarns last Wednesday, but right now we're talking a lot about this one, and then next week we're gonna focus on the other one. But so we had 2 new summer spring yarns come out. This one that we're gonna be really focusing on next week is our Comfy Sport, which, if you know our Comfy yarn, which comes in worsted and fingering, it's the exact same thing, but now in a sport weight yarn. So like, if you already love it, just go get it, because you know you're gonna love it. It's beautiful. It's just a new weight of yarn and everything else. It's a beautiful cotton yarn. But this is a brand new, never seen before yarn. And this is called our Samia. And this one is a blend. Now, let me get this right. It is 80% Cupro, 20% mulberry silk, and it's a fingering weight yarn. It's gorgeous.
That is going to have an amazing drape.
Oh my God, it does. Where did I took my project back downstairs. I started a summer top with it. Oh my God, I can't even tell you.
That drape is going to be so gorgeous for summer weight items.
Oh my God. Yes.
Shawls.
Yes. We had, we did a shawl. We reworked one of our shawls in it. The photo should be coming out really soon. We did it in this grayish purple color, which I love. But we also have the pops of color for Marley. You know what? So I was looking this morning to see like what colors were selling and what people liked. This one gets like no love, and I don't know why. It is like the greatest color. It's called pineapple. It's not quite yellow. It's got like a little bit of green to it. I don't know. I love it. I think it's the perfect.
I love that color, and I would wear that color all the time. But when I wear that color, I look like I'm dying. Like, if you put that color near my face, I look like a dead person. It's not cute.
It's so funny. I love that color. It looks
great.
My
mom looked great in that color. That was my mother's signature color. Everything she wore was that green or eggplant purple all the time. And if you put that on me, I'm like, oh, I have never seen this.
So is it like a chartreuse?
Yeah, it looks like it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more on that line.
Like, I would lift those colors up again. I would absolutely mix that with like maybe that blue or even the teal. And I have a pattern that would actually look really good with that.
Oh my God, I love that.
Right? That would be beautiful.
I was just talking with Stephanie Erin, and she wants to do a top in these 2 colors. So you're spot on, Marley.
That would be beautiful. That's the thing is, take a color you love and then mix that yellow. That's actually very pretty. That's very, very, very pretty.
Yeah. I love this color. Well, you know I love color.
Yeah.
And the purples are great too. Purples are hard. Oh,
I love that.
I mean,
I would so wear that. I
think people get stuck because they're like, oh, I don't like that color, but they don't realize that they do like that color. Oh, yes.
Okay, so here's what you do. Here's the trick with yellow. Find the color you love and then put the yellow with it. And it's like, oh, this is great. That's actually quite beautiful.
I love that.
And this tone, like, it's not like a super bright color, but it definitely tones it down, going with more of a neutral color because you're just bringing that color. I mean, you could even do it here.
Yeah.
You know,
really very simple. Yeah. Very simple. I love it. I got a chance to use that yarn. So does Robin. That's why it's not here, because I had it upstairs working with something. But I only had one ball. I have the orange color. And I was just playing around with some stitches just to see how the stitch definition showed up. And I liked how it looked. Like, it looked really good. I did some, and I was playing with knitting. Robin was doing the crochet. So I was playing around with some cables and lace. I liked it better with the lace than I did with the cables. But I thought it was really beautiful.
Yeah.
I liked it.
There's Robin! Everyone can see it. Hi, I'm not really here, but
ignore the wizard.
We are working on it. So yeah,
I love it.
It's very bright. Like, it's very bright and pretty, but it says lace to me.
Yeah,
like it's I agree. Like when you want to use it, it says lace. Yeah, and so that will be happening in the Marley Bird world.
speaking to that, the top that I'm working on, we actually did in Curio number 3 the first time around. And so it's very comparable. I did have to change my hook a little bit from the pattern to get the gauge and whatnot, but the drape is so phenomenal. Like, I don't know, every summer top should be done in this yarn. It's just how I feel. Like, once you feel it, there is nothing else. Like,
yeah,
it's just done.
Yeah, and you told everybody it's silk.
Yes, it has mulberry silk and the Cupro in it. So it's a really beautiful blend for keeping you nice and cool over the summer.
I've got some older patterns of mine with yarns that have been discontinued that would be really good with this. Like the tattoo tank that I did, it used a silk yarn from Lorna's Laces, but it's not available anymore, but that would be really pretty. Yeah. I'm going to put that link in the chat so people can see what I'm talking about.
And
I just want to throw this.
Oh, go ahead. Talking about yarn. What I want to know, and maybe other people do too, is Caitlyn, what is your job? Like, what do you do?
Oh, what's your actual job description?
Oh, you actually want to, you just don't want the yarn, right?
Well, but like, it's an interesting job, right? Like, you know, Marley and I are designers and teachers, and, you know, Lindsey is a bag maker. But it's like a whole different world that you can go into in this world.
I want to go like tell your story. Like, what's your story? How
you got started, because that story is a very good story.
And it's exciting because it really shows people that it could happen to anybody.
Absolutely.
Right. All right. So I'm making you full screen. So here you go.
So many years ago, well, not that many, but when my husband and I first got married, we moved out to California and I didn't know anybody. So I started looking at crochet magazines and things. And down the line, that's how I first found Robin, who then led me to Marley. And so that's how my crochet journey kind of all began. But I went to school for marketing and I worked in marketing for a couple of years. And then when I had my children, we decided that I was going to stay home and take care of them. And if you've ever been a stay-at-home parent or caregiver, you may know the feeling I had that I just needed something to do with my brain. And I needed something a little bit outside of just taking care of kids. Yes, teachers are great. Yes, they do phenomenal things, but I needed something a little more. And one time on Marley's podcast, she said, "Oh, I really should be doing an email list." And I said, "Oh my God, I love Marley." And I used to do email marketing before I had my kids. So I reached out to Marley and I basically begged her and emailed her a lot saying, "Hey, I can do your emails." And she finally hired me. And so we kind of started there and we were working together on all kinds of things for her. And then, like she said, I did get connected with We Crochet. And when I started here, I started as the outreach coordinator. And what that meant is I went and did all the collections that you were seeing through the magazine and then into the books, and picking the patterns and working with designers and the sample makers, which was so much fun. And then we had a little bit of an opening, so to speak, and I became also the marketing manager. And so now I am the editor and marketing manager for We Crochet and producing all the content. And kind of, you know, this seems to be my thing, Marley, is I just kind of do it all and kind of help with everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and she says that she emailed me. She didn't email me a lot. It's just she would email, but I knew I needed to have the money to pay her. I wasn't going to just accept her work for free, right? So I was like, you know, like any small business, guys, you have to get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm committing to paying this person even $100 a month. It's $100 a month, and you're just like, whew. So, she allowed me to let my business grow and grow with her. And so, I mean, she's really been here from the beginning. So it's fun to watch her do what she does now, because she couldn't be a better person for the position, because she knows everybody and she knows our side of the business. So like, she has a unique perspective at her job, where she understands where the designers are coming from and how the designers are not like, "Oh, just give me yarn, I'm going to do this." It's like, we are actively trying so hard to help promote these yarn companies. And half the time, I'm just going to say it, the yarn companies can't get the hell out of their own way to let us do our job. But I'm saying
Caitlin's like, "Oh no, that's not our problem. We know how to do
true. This." Like half the time they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll give you yarn, but I'm not going to share your name out there and say I'm working with you." Why? I have a following. You should use that to promote. Like, you make no sense. Anyways, But Caitlyn understands it. She's like, yeah, look, we're going to create some hooks because there needs to be a new hook on the market and we're going to do this. Oh, I don't know. Yes, we're going to do it. I'm going to show you how it can be done. Boom, sells out in 2 hours. Yep. I mean, hello, listen up.
Hooks are adorable, by the way.
The hooks are great. The hooks are great. It just goes
they're up too high.
Could rule the world. We would rule the world.
So cute.
Which, by the way, that holder, I saw it. It's at Walmart now.
I know, somebody told me that.
Yes,
I was
have it at Walmart.
Like, so this one is from some kind of sewing company. I don't know how I came across it, but yeah, now they're being sold like in Walmart and stuff as like makeup brush things. But guess what? Holds your crochet hooks. Really good.
So smart. So smart.
And since we're talking about the hooks, if you did not get your selection of dot hooks, they're coming back at the end of April, or excuse me, the end of March or sometime in April as soon as they get to the warehouse.
I want you to know that my friend Jenny, she does almost all the project bags. With very few exceptions, do I make a project bag anymore? That's Jenny's job. And Jenny and I don't crochet. We do not know how to crochet. She saw those crochet hooks and was like, I'm getting those when those come back in stock. And she did. And then she brought them to the studio when we were hanging out. And she's like, I bought the hooks. We are learning to crochet. Okay.
Well, it's such a shame you don't know anybody to teach you how to do it.
I know, right? Like if only there was like a boot camp I could take since I'm a knitter to learn how to crochet. I mean, geez, I wish somebody would make that.
I know. Like, come on, get on this, people.
Tutorials and videos and projects.
If I had all the time in the world, could you imagine I could get a lot of stuff done, you guys. I'm trying to put links on here, so I'm paying attention, but I'm trying to add links for people. So I just, there's just not enough time for all the ideas. It's funny because at the conference that we were just at, they said that ideas are like little demons because
they're demon babies. That's what they called them, and I was like,
demon babies.
Then I guess I'm the queen of hell.
They're demon babies. It's because you could be like working on something and then you have this other idea coming on and it could absolutely derail you. I mean, of course, that never happens to me, but I guess it happens to some people. But most of my ideas are really good. So I'm like, it's not a demon baby. It just needs to be put over there and then I'll come back to it later. But
some things.
But they were like, yeah, that's demon. I was like, oh, we're
I'm
not gonna agree on that.
Yeah. It's just it made me laugh. But it's so fun. So what are some of the things at We Crochet? I know that you work really well with the designers and stuff, and you're doing like designer spotlights and like what are things that people can look forward to as they go to We Crochet? Which, by the way, just so that the knitters don't think like this is something like We Crochet and Knit Picks, they're sister companies, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah. So basically, the yarn is the same on both sites. We do run different features, different promotions throughout the year, so you can kind of check out both of them. The biggest difference is that Knit Picks is knitter focused in terms of patterns and tools, and We Crochet is crochet focused in terms of patterns and tools. There is some crossover, obviously it happens and whatever else, but that's the biggest thing is if you're looking for crochet help, you're going to want to go to We Crochet because that's where you're going to find the most information for you and the tools and the yarn that are specifically for you. Because for instance, I know you guys are doing something with Millhouse yarn, that super thick yarn. You can't get that on Knit Picks because not that knitters don't use bulky yarn, but it's an acrylic yarn in a super bulky weight. And so it's an exclusive for We Crochet that you can't find it anywhere else. And so we have things like that. There's also a handful of yarns on Knit Picks that are just on Knit Picks because they don't swatch up as well in crochet. And we don't want to give you things that are going to frustrate you or make it a bad experience for what you're doing. So we're taking the time to practice with it and swatch with it so that you guys have the best experience with what's going on.
Yeah.
That's so important.
So what was the rest of the question? I don't know. I just started talking.
That was sister company stuff about designers. Like I know you have like designer spotlights and stuff.
Yes. Okay. So things coming up. Sorry, got distracted there.
You're good.
So over on the website, we also do a live every week on a Wednesday. So after you're here, you can come over there on a Wednesday at 12:30 Eastern, which is on YouTube and on Facebook. And we are doing designer spotlights where every month we are featuring a new designer. Marley is coming up in May. I mean, I probably shouldn't tell you that, but I'm going to tell you because now
it's good
she has to do it She has to do it now. She cannot back out. It is out there. It is live. See, this is how we work, people. We know Marley, and we have to make it publicly known.
See that? She's like, she's like, pulls the pin from the grenade and launches it. It's like, dance, lady, dance.
Now everybody's going to be looking for you. You have to be there. Like, it just has to happen. I don't know what else to tell you.
Christy better not be watching and getting ideas. This is not good. Not good. No, I will be. And can we tell them what the special yarn is in May?
Sure, go ahead.
No, I was going to let you. No, I don't.
Okay. So
do you remember?
No. Marley's month is going to be Hawthorne. And so every month we pick a new yarn and it goes on sale for 20% off. So you can grab it for the month. The featured designer has a pattern that usually goes with it, or a couple or things that we feature. So you've got lots to do with it and things like that. So yeah, that's the featured designer or designer spotlight. And so they get a full month of just fun and chatting and everything else. We're also doing a We Collaborate, which is product. And I've been talking to Lindsey, so guys, keep an eye on this one too. We bring in somebody
based on returning your email because I'm a dick.
You had COVID. You had COVID.
Did you say because I'm a dick?
I said because I'm a dork.
I said because I'm a dick. I was like, wow, we're going there. All right.
I said because I'm a dork.
I thought that's what you said, though. I heard because I'm a dick. I was like, that's what I heard. My husband would be like, yeah, she did.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so no, because she had COVID. But what we're doing is we team up with somebody in the industry that has like a notion or a tool or something really cool. Marley, I don't know if you remember when we worked with Eula Design and we did the wire jewelry and stuff.
Yes.
So we had her on as one of our We Collaborates that you could buy an exclusive kit that she put together for us with like a special color and everything else. So yeah, so we're really trying to, we know we can't offer it all. We can't have all the patterns. We can't have all the tools. We can't have all the stuff. So if we can't do it, let me at least show you who is doing things well and people worth spending your money on is really what we want to do because that's what we need in this industry.
We have all done it where we were like, I'm going to give this a shot. And then it got there and you were like, this was a mistake.
Yeah.
We've all done it.
So those are kind of the big things that we have going on. I mean, we're always launching new stuff. We try to do as much as we can with the designers and I don't know. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm really jealous. You guys have your game day stuff on. I didn't finish mine.
Why? You know what? Of all the people I thought would have finished was you because you have begged Robin.
I know.
That, like doing that pattern forever.
I know. But see, the problem is I really thought I was going to sit down and have a relaxing Super Bowl and be able to work on the project. And then did you watch the game? Do you know what it was like in my house?
But you realize that game day is before the game. Like it's before it's before the game
ready.
I had to prep for the party.
Yeah.
Well, that's your own fault. That's just poor planning on your part.
That's the woman with no plan.
I'm just gonna take that one and stick it over here.
All right. I think it's hilarious.
You literally asked me every single day when we were at that conference, what time does it start? The same time every day. It starts at 10. Are you sure? Yes. So let's not talk about planning, little miss.
I don't plan. I just follow.
That's not
have
what
you,
Marley
have you not seen like that reel where it's like it's the guy or the mom or whoever it is making all the plans for the trip, like they're just like searching, and then the other person is just like don't this is my significant other, like just that's me. That is so John made that comment last night. He's like, don't ask your mom doesn't know, she just goes along for the ride. I'm like, yep. I don't want to make those decisions. I make enough decisions in the day. I don't want to make that decision. Don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So, there I am. Anyways.
But it started. I will finish it because I told everybody last week on the live that I was going to have it finished for tomorrow. So it's going to be finished. At least some part of it. It may only be earrings till tomorrow, but guess what? Something is going to be done by tomorrow.
Did you do the crochet one? Of course you did the crochet one.
Yes. Well, no. So I have the knitting one. I have my supplies for the knit one, but I did start with crochet because that's just easier and faster for me. So, but I'm going to do something different with my knit bead. I'm going to take just a single bead and I'm going to put a tassel on the bottom of it and make it into like a long necklace. Then have some beads going up into that big focal bead at the bottom. That's my
I thought about that one too, but I
love everything.
I know, right? But I didn't think this bead was the right size bead for that. Like, I feel like it should be bigger. So I didn't want to.
Nope, Caitlyn, just go with it.
I'm feeling very ganged up on right now. I'm feeling very ganged up on. No.
Well, think about who's in the room here. I mean, we just love you so much.
You know my love language. You have to give me all sorts of verbal.
Marley, you are so pretty.
Thank you so much. And I know you mean it.
Okay.
Y'all are laughing because you know it's real. You know that my need for constant affirmations is real.
Marley, most of our conversations start with, what do you think of this? But the only answer I'm looking for is, you think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel beat up on. Is that wrong? I don't think that's wrong. I think that's a great way to live my life. It's a great, I just never disappointed.
You know what? This is a very important lesson. You have a boundary. That boundary is that when you are telling your friend, what do you think of this? By the way, the only answer I want from you is that it's amazing and perfect. You are setting a boundary and also managing expectations. These are all very healthy mental choices. All of them.
Well, thank you.
I have a real question for Caitlyn. So, I mean, you've done a bunch of different things in the industry, but for your current job, what's something that you find super surprising about your new job? Not new, but like, what's something like you did not think of while now doing this job?
Okay, so that's a really hard question because you have to consider I worked with Marley before, and so I don't mean that in a bad way, but like,
no, it's that Marley you were very busy. You did
she was very busy.
Yeah, right.
She did all the things.
What you mean is that like Marley is a go. Like,
right. I saw that side of the business and kind of running it on your own and everything else. And so coming into this world, I mean, there's different challenges than we had when I was working with Marley. You know, we have a very small team, but it's still like very slow because it's not just one person making these decisions and you just go. It affects the whole company and the business and everything else. So, I mean, I don't know. Again, this is my wheelhouse. Like, marketing was my wheelhouse, and being in the crochet world was my wheelhouse before I came in here. So really not much has surprised me, other than the fact is like what Marley said before, how kind of sometimes the walls that companies put up and don't want or don't have that such inclusive thought on things. Like, to me, I just don't get it. Like, Marley designs really well, and that's her wheelhouse. I've got yarn that's really good, so that's my wheelhouse. So let's be friends and let's make a beautiful thing together. Like,
yep.
Yeah.
You know?
I hear you.
But it's to my advantage because then I get to play with all the fun people. I mean, look where I am right now. I mean, you know.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Like, having your job, I think the most fun part would just be working with all the designers because everybody has a different perspective and they're going in a different direction. It's kind of cool.
Right.
They're all saying the same stuff.
That really is the best part of my job is like, guys, I'm working right now. And really what I'm doing, if you're asking for real, I'm talking to my friends. I mean, how could it get any better than that you get to talk to your friends while you're working, like, most of the time? I mean, yes, I have a lot of stuff to do, a lot of admin stuff. We all do. But I still get this part of the job, which really fuels my soul, is getting to collaborate with other people, doing these lives, getting to show people what else is out there, and not being this single-minded entity of, no, I can't share anybody else because it's taking away from me. No, we're all growing and we're supporting each other.
and like, I mean, this is a thing that I've seen, at least in the industry, and I've been here a minute, is that even though our industry is fairly small, there are still people inside the industry that are like, oh, I can't mention this other person, or I can't collaborate with this person. And like, why?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that. And maybe it was because, like, look, I was a school teacher. We had no choice. Like, we had to collaborate. Professional learning communities. Ugh. Yeah. But like, why? Like, I love the idea. Like, Marley's like, hey, I'm doing this thing. Will you post about it? Absolutely. Send me an image. Like,
right.
Send me an image. That is free content. I love the content.
Right?
Like, why? And like, it doesn't hurt me to promote my friends. It doesn't hurt me to help and like, Marley has introduced me to so many amazing people that I probably would never have met otherwise. And like, stop, like, don't get stuck in your bubble. Like, don't get stuck in your bubble. It's easy to do. It's easy to be in your bubble. Like, this is all the things I have to do. But when you get out of that bubble, like, you meet so many great people and get so many new demon baby ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots of demon babies, lots of it. I think it's fun. I like what you're doing. I told you before, if you need any sort of like a pep talk, or your boss needs to hear something positive about you and how you're doing your job, just point them I'll just be real. I'll be real honest with them. And cause I mean, you're pretty darn amazing. I've told you that for years. Well, it's true, you know?
Yeah.
You've been there now 2.5 years, almost 2.5 years.
Almost 3. It'll be 3 in September.
Yeah. So it's been 2.5 years.
Like, I remember the text message Marley sent when you were like, I'm going to weave crochet. I remember that text message. And then I remember Marley having to hire like 4 people to do your job.
Two people.
2? Was it 2 people?
No, 3 people. 3 people. I had 3 people. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I mean, I'm really excited for Caitlyn. Like, I was so excited for you because it's such a great opportunity. And like, you are literally custom made for this job.
But it freaking sucked. It sucked. It sucked big.
No, wait.
Really
wait a minute. Time out. It was bad then, but what did you say to me? What did you say to me the other day? Thank goodness Caitlyn's at Weave Crochet and could send me all this yarn.
Well, not only that, but like, again, there's the friend Marley, so proud of you, so happy. The Marley that's running a business, oh my God, I just lost Caitlyn. You know what I mean? There's the 2 different things.
And it was, you know, just because like y'all had worked so well together for so long, like anybody, and that doesn't matter, like any industry.
Yeah.
Losing essentially your EA, like using your executive assistant, like, is detrimental. Like, it doesn't matter what the industry is. I'm thrilled that you are happy with where you are, and you are doing a killer job.
Very happy where
you're doing an excellent job, and I'm thrilled that you can send Marley all that yarn as well.
Well, plus now, like, you know, I essentially, I took your job, split it to 3 people, so that way I wouldn't be like dead in the water if one person left at a time, right? Like, that wasn't just it, but that was a big part of it. And now I have Chrissy, you know, I have Meg, and now Jill's with me. Catherine was with me and has to take a leave of absence. Now we have Meg, and now Robin's in here with it too. Robin's like, I want to get in on this. She's like, I want to be with Marley every single day.
I'm sure that's not the thought that was going through her head. No,
I'm sure of it. Don't bust my bubble, Caitlyn. That is what she was thinking. She walks around all day long in the thought bubble. I'm gonna work with Marley Bird. That's her thought bubble.
How do I work with Marley?
She knows that her dreams are, when I wake up, I get to talk to Marley Bird. That's what she's thinking all day long.
Yes, it is.
It is.
I bet she has a shrine to you on the wall.
She does. She does. And if she doesn't, I'll send her some pictures so she can make one.
Sounds good.
I'm going to turn that space right there. I'm going to put out a giant photo of you and me. And I'm going to put it there for the next one of these. I'm doing it. You
need a flat Marley picture.
Yeah.
Flat Marley.
Oh my gosh. That's so awesome. I love it. No, but honestly, like, what we both have done in the last, you know, because since you left, that was right at COVID and everything. Like, it's been a crazy time, and we've done a lot of really great things. And so I love where both of our businesses have grown.
Yeah.
And I love we can still work together. Like, you know, like it still works. Like, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it a lot, but
I love it.
Did I ever tell you? I think I probably did. Ursula, who used to be the CEO. Was it CEO? She was like head of Creative Bug, and then she went to We Crochet. And when she was at Creative Bug, you guys know I used to go to Creative Bug every month in San Francisco and do a live. And so I was with Ursula quite a bit, and she knew you as Marley's Caitlyn. That's my Caitlyn. Like we talked about Caitlyn. And so I hadn't talked to her after you got hired by them. I was on the phone with her. And we're talking, and she goes, okay, and she has a Scottish accent. I'm not going to try to recreate it because I can't, like Scottish Irish accent. But she's like, okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. She goes, I'm really sorry. I was like, what? She goes, I didn't know. And I was like, She goes, no, really. One day somebody was talking about how wonderful this new hire is that they got named Caitlyn and going on and on and on. And she was like, oh, that's really wonderful. And then somebody mentioned, yeah, she used to work for Marley Bird. And Ursula was like, no. No, you took Marley's Caitlyn. You took Marley's Caitlyn. No. So Ursula was like, I'm really sorry. I didn't know. I was like, that's okay. Like, I mean, I wish her the best of luck, but it was cute because she was so funny. She was like, wow, this girl's like really great. Like she's coming in, she's hot. And then they're like, yeah, she used to work for Marley Bird. No. That made me laugh. I was like,
that is pretty funny. I didn't know that story.
It's funny, yeah.
It's a good story.
I love what you're doing. You were a very good surprise. I mean, shockingly, I've kept you here longer than 30 minutes, and I know you have like time frames.
You know what? I figured, who knows how long this is going to be. I'm just here for the ride, and where it takes us, it takes us.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very, very much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
And please
yarns.
go use Marley's link that she put in there because that gives her a little bit of a commission for anything that you go and buy, especially that Samia yarn that you're going to want to try out because you know what? Marley's going to do a design for us in it.
Yes.
See, the more I just say, the more
you got to send me some more because I
you have to tell me what you want.
Orange.
No, it's already in the works, Caitlyn. Don't even worry about it.
Oh, yeah.
Never
See,
mind.
Marley's like,
yours, the purpley blue. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine is yours. Yours is mine.
Well, I know. I was thinking of knitting though too. Like I like knitting.
The way the partnership works.
I got that.
Thank you so much for having me.
Go.
I can't wait to talk to you all again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Caitlyn.
Bye, Caitlyn. Bye. Oh, it's a cool surprise.
Yay.
You're welcome.
I love her.
All right. I'm going to go.
You're going to go too?
Yeah, I'm going to go too. You two need to talk about. Sorry. Producer me. I need you to talk about what's coming up next. But you have to be very careful of not saying too much.
Okay.
What's coming next in both of your worlds until we have the next podcast. But be careful because the next podcast we'll talk.
Okay.
The big surprise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marley's looking at me like she doesn't know what I'm talking about, Lindsay.
I do know. I'm trying to get in my head what I can say, what I can't say.
It's not easy there, friend.
Yeah, that's real hard. That's real hard.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm doing. You're getting a new website.
Yes.
Very excited. I have decided to take the plunge, I guess, I don't know what else to say. Nosedive, grenade, I don't know. And I'm going to try to put barcodes on all of my goods.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because here's what happens. Okay. So here's what happens. My shipping policy is that if the USPS loses it and it's a first class package, I don't have to replace it. Right. And in a lot of cases, I can't because like it was a live sale item or a limited edition item and I don't have any more fabric and I don't have any more. Like, so a lot of that is what that is.
Yeah.
But if I can replace it, I want to. Like, you paid me for this thing. I want you to have this thing. It's not your fault that the U.S. Postal Service ate your package, right? Like, that's not your fault. And so most of the time I can replace it. And what happens, and I don't know why, but I will go in, like I have a Shopify app on my phone and I go into the Shopify app and I find the item, which is not a small task. And I say, I'm shipping an extra one of these and I reduce the inventory by 1 and I save. And then I go to my website and I check and make sure that it's reduced by 1. And it is. And then it sells it to somebody else after I've mailed it as a replacement.
Oh, that's not good.
And so then I have to be like, I'm so sorry. The Shopify site oversold it. And like, I know I reduced that inventory because like I'm super, super picky about it. Because I hate doing inventory with the fiery passion of 1,000 burning suns. And so like I've asked all of my friends who have barcodes who've taken that leap, because it is like a lot of logistics. You have to buy a label printer, the right kind of labels. Are you going to tag everything? Like it's a whole lot of work. And so like I did the research years ago when I was doing trade shows because I wanted to be able to do inventory live, basically. So I'd done the research and I can order labels. Like, you know, if you bought the shirt, it has like a small tag or like large or whatever, like your pants have like the size.
Yes.
Like that's a specific kind of like sticky tack glue or something. I don't know.
Okay.
And I can buy those in barcode sizes.
Okay.
Perfect. Because I don't want to tag everything like with a tagging gun, because tagging guns are the devil. I hate them. No. I did that.
For years.
Like I bought literally, I think I bought 5,000 teeny tiny binder clips that will fit on hooks so that I do not have to do that ever again.
Yep.
That's what I did. And so like I've been looking at all these apps, like so Shopify has one, like, and here's what I know. If Shopify comes out with an app, that's the one you use because they just make it that way.
Okay.
And so I went and I like looked on their blog, the one that they recommend has a 2-star rating.
Oh.
And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm going to go with no. And like, I always go and read the reviews because like those reviews might be really old and they've gotten better, right?
Yeah.
No, it's like 1-star review from last week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I've been doing a whole bunch of research and I think I've found a solution, but I am terrified. I'm terrified.
Okay.
I'm terrified.
What is it?
Like, look, I even have I have the barcode scanner. Like I have it. Like I bought it. Like I took the plunge and I am freaking terrified to do it because like the way it should work is that you could literally go in and zero out your inventory in your back end, right? So everything's at 0 to do inventory. And then you just go in the app and you say, I'm going to increase my inventory. And then you just scan every barcode you have, every product you have, and your inventory is perfect.
Okay. That seems
in theory
scary.
Yes. Doesn't it though?
Yeah. You can't do it like on a mock site or a back end site first?
Nope.
Ooh.
Have I thought about building a Shopify website for like in a free trial and trying it? Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah. So anyway, that is what I'm working on. And I want to have that ready for this next big thing that we're doing so that like people who maybe don't know me, their first experience is not, hey, Shopify screwed up and I don't actually have this thing that you want.
I can relate to that. That's why I'm having the website built with Shopify too. Like,
I know, like look, I'm just going to be really, really honest. Is Shopify the best platform? Probably not. Is it the most easy to use for someone who doesn't understand coding and design? Absolutely. Yeah. I can buy a template that I like, and then I can customize the colors and the photos and all that. That I want drag and drop. Like that's what I need as a person because I'm busy doing other things.
Right.
And like I'm sure there's other platforms that are probably way more stable or way better at inventory management, but Shopify is the giant in the room. Like most of the shops you buy things on are Shopify stores.
Right.
And so like I'm excited that you're moving to Shopify for what you're doing. I think it's going to be game changing for you. I just have to get a handle on it so that I can like, also the other thing is like, for instance, for Hankmas, we had Schitt's Creek, Sheeple. We also had Larry, the original Larry that says, well, shh, I'm not going to finish that word, but you know what it says. And when I was pulling those things, if I heard the wrong thing, I could pull the wrong piece. If it's barcoded, I can scan it and it'll beep at me if it's wrong.
Got it.
Then that would keep me from sending someone the wrong thing. Now, all of the people who got something that was incorrect mailed it back to me. Like, amazing. Come on.
Yeah.
Whose people do that? Mine. Like, knitters are the best. So I was able to fix a lot of those problems. But, like, at the same time, like, that is a big step. That is a big logistical step to have to do. Like,
that's huge.
Because, like, if you look at companies that I know are big companies that still don't use barcodes because of the logistics of barcodes, like Miss Babs does not use barcodes. They still handwrite the color on the tag to this day.
Oh, yeah, they do. You're right.
No barcodes. All of that inventory is managed by hand. Now, here's the thing. She can do that. She has like a team of 8 people. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And unless I can afford to hire a team of people to just manage inventory, which I can't, like, I have to find a way to be able to be like, I have to do inventory. And I just do inventory like from 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. one night when most people are not on the website, right? Like, I just zero it out and then I click it all back in.
Right.
Like, that's what I need to be able to do, because Dave and I hand reconciled the inventory before we moved into the studio. So, like, we got home from DFW.
I remember this.
Hand reconciled every single piece of inventory we had. Pins, stickers, everything. Mm-hmm. I was so tired of counting, I could have died. And I am still finding things that are wrong. Shopify still has it wrong. Like, I don't know how it happened, and it's so infuriating. And so I'm trying super hard to figure out a way to do inventory, because also then if I go to a trade show, like hopefully I'm going to DFW in September, waiting to hear. If I go to DFW, I can just scan the item and then it's out of my inventory so people can still shop it online. Like, that gives more people an opportunity. So yeah. So anyway, that's my bit. Like, I know you're doing your website for this big launch, and I'm doing, that's the thing I want to do for the big launch. And then there's a line of fabric that I want to do for the big launch, and I'm probably going to miss it because timing.
So with the big launch that's going, because my website won't be done until the middle of April, and the launch is middle of March, everything that we direct, it's going to be directed to the YouTube channel here and the Marley Birdhouse and such, everything outside of my own website. Yeah. So that way, when the website is ready, it can be like, oh, by the way, did you know she has a website?
Yeah. I think that's a great solution, because, like,
because, you know, I mean, here's the fact of the matter. Everybody, you guys probably know this without really knowing this. You have seconds to grab somebody's interest and seconds for them to decide whether they're going to take more time on your channel or your page or whatever, spend any time with you. You have seconds. So unless you grab their attention or not frustrate them, they're gone. So I'm trying really hard to make things easier, because I know right now my website is really difficult. It's not user friendly. I've known this for several years, but the fact of the matter is, you guys, it's costing me $15,000 to redo my website. $15,000, and that's not just the website. It's adding Shopify. It's a whole SEO thingy. It's a bunch of money, and I didn't want to do like a, you know, GoFundMe or anything like that, because I'm like, okay, this is part of my job. And this is part of the price of doing my job. But
and also, guys, I want you guys need to understand, part of the reason that it's so expensive is because Marley's website is so large.
Huge. It's
so
huge.
Like, Marley has had a blog for what, 15 years? Is it 14?
Yeah, since 2007.
2007. So 14 years? Is that 14?
I think it's 15.
15.
Yeah,
14 or 15 years.
Whatever it is. It's a long time.
And so, like, if you think about how many blog posts that is and how many photos that is, all of that has to be transferred over to the new site. So part of the expense is that transfer because it's so huge.
Well, and it's reorganizing, it's redoing images, it's eliminating things that are no longer like valid, or it's like it's a huge process.
Like having to redo cover photos.
Yeah.
Like just that process. It's okay, Marley.
All of it. It's just a lot. But part of that, all of that is, you know, it's like Robin and I are still designing things. We're still putting things out there. We're still trying to earn our money the way we earn money to finance this, but then also make the pay for everybody. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot. You know, it's what every small business person goes into. It's just a lot that goes into it. But it's, I mean, like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
If you ask me about my cash flow in like August, I'm like, I am the brokest person you've ever met.
Yes. Yes.
All of my money, all of my credit cards, everything is like tied up in fabric. And I have to make it August, September, and October before the live sale in November.
Yeah.
Like it's just the way it flows. Like, you have really to do it that way. And I'm fine with that. But like, it's one of those things where you're like, what's the interest charge on my credit card?
Right. Yeah. It's all the things. It's all the things. So yeah, biggest support you could get is sharing my channel.
Yeah. Share the channel. Send people to the blog.
Yeah. But yeah, all the balls in the air. Jennifer just said that. I do. That's what it feels like. But I'm very excited about this thing we're working on, and I can't wait to tell the story behind it and like where we're going.
And how it came to be.
Yeah. I wonder if we can get a special guest on that show.
I already asked that question.
Oh.
And the answer was probably not.
Really?
Yeah, because she is maybe not a person who likes people. And I don't think that that's true. I think that this kind of format,
it's scary.
It's scary. Like, if you are not a person who does lives, and this is a person who does not.
Yes.
This is very intimidating. Like, Caitlyn is great at it. Caitlyn can go, right? Like, yeah. But there are, I'm sure, going to be people that Robin and I contact. They're like, there's no script or plan. No, there is no script or plan. Like, Marley will not even know who you are until you are on screen. That will be like, absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. And so like, it's one of those things that I totally, so like my whole live, like the live sale thing was absolutely because Shopify hated me. Like, that's why it started. And like, so that's the joke, like Shopify hates me. So we did live sales. That's how we started with live sales. And I think that I was probably less intimidated by the whole idea of being live because I was a school teacher. So like, I was a singing, dancing monkey for 8th graders for 10 years. So like, look, full facts. Full disclosure, did I miss sitting down in my chair one day and fall flat on my butt in front of an entire class of 8th graders while they were taking a test and every single one of them watched me do it? You bet your bottom dollar I did. Did I scream and barely prevent myself from screaming profanity? Also, yes. So like, at a certain point, I'm like, what else? What else you got?
You know, I get it. We'll figure it out. But I'm excited. You guys are all going to be like, no way. You're just going to be shocked.
You guys are going to be so excited. But also, I love the fact that I sent you a text message in the middle of the night one night because I was like, this is a thing you should do. And then a couple weeks later, you got drunk and sent a text message in the middle of the night.
It worked.
And it worked.
It worked. You just never know. You just never know.
But so it's exciting. There's going to be lots of things happening very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
What else can we say safely?
I like, it's like, I feel like Robin's the warrior. I don't want to be like, do I have a like mute button? She's saying to stop now. Don't say anything more.
Okay. Robin's saying stop. Okay. We're going to stop. Okay. Well, cause like, I want to be by the letter of the law.
I get it.
Like,
I get it. So I'm going to change the subject real quick because the last time we were on, I went to book club, right? And I told you about the Discovery Witches. So this time book club, it was about a book called The Midnight Library.
That sounds good.
It was very interesting. It was a way more thinker kind of book than I really like because you find yourself really, you're diving in deep and thinking.
Okay.
It starts off. I don't think spoiler alert, I guess, but it just really makes you think. Like at the start, it talks about like it's an hour before the person kills herself, or this, like it starts off with the main character is going to commit suicide, but that's the premise of the story is that in her suicidal attempt, she goes to the Midnight Library, and in the Midnight Library, there's all the books of the different paths of life you could have chosen. And then it's like the big book of regrets. So you have the big book of regrets. And then there's all these other books of like the different directions that you could have went if you had married that guy or joined that band or whatever, right? So I say this to be like, I'm reading this book, reading whatever, and like I started to think to myself, what would be in my book of regrets? Okay. Like take a minute and just everybody just kind of think about that. Like if you were given a chance to be in this midnight library and the person that's there is the librarian that was like her 4th grade librarian or something like that. And she was a meaningful person in her life.
Sure.
Right. And a very important person. And you get the book of regrets and you're looking through the book of regrets. You're like, oh, so there's this, and you could have done this. You see what would have happened if you would have went that way. And at the end of the book, she ends up loving the life she's in, and she doesn't end up dying. But it's kind of like, it just makes you think, right?
Yeah.
So my point of this is, I'm thinking to myself, what would be in my book of regrets? And when I tell you that I don't have many regrets in my life, that's not like a bragging moment. It was a moment of this real realization of I've really pretty much lived my life in the manner I wanted to live it. There are a few regrets. There are a few.
Of course.
But I don't have they talked about like this big book, and I just don't have that. But it makes you think a lot, right? Because it's
also like I think the point of that is to be grateful for the life you lead.
Absolutely.
Because
absolutely.
I am of the I guess philosophy. It's from the Chronicles of Narnia, and similarly they're looking at a book, and Lucy asks Aslan, well, what would have happened? And Aslan says, we're never told what could have been.
Right. Well, and that's funny you bring that up, because that was part of the conversation at that book club. Was they brought up Narnia and how the librarian, it's supposed to be God.
Sure.
And it would be a representation. It would be a different vision for every other person.
Every person has a different
this librarian was God. It's just that's the vision, that's the person
right
for you, right? Like that could have been the lion or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that led to the conversation in book club. It was like, who would you be in life? Would you be the librarian? And not saying that you want to kill yourself, or would you be the one at the library looking for the librarian, right?
Sure.
To which my answer again is, I feel like I'm the librarian for people. I feel like I'm the positive person that would be the positive influence on people, where they would see me as a librarian. And I was just like, am I being egotistical thinking that? Because that's really how
I think that you have a grasp of like, you've made decisions, and sure, some of those decisions haven't worked out like you planned, I'm sure. Right. And I'm sure you've made decisions that you have regretted. There's no way to live your life with zero regrets.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But the regrets that you have aren't like, it's not a regret like, I wish I had stayed in my regular job, or I wish I had married someone else, or I wish I had a larger family or a smaller family, or I wish I had never moved to Indiana, or I wish, like, you don't have those regrets of like those major life events. And I feel like a lot of people have regrets around large life events. And like, look, I live in the South. I live in a conservative area. And I mean, like, I was one of the last people I knew who got married, and I got married in college. I was barely 20. I turned 21 2 months after I got married. So like, I was a baby. And now when my friends are like, oh, my daughter's getting married, she's 20. I'm like, what are you doing? I did that. But like, there are so many people, like I know so many people who got married and had kids, but I don't know that they ever really stopped to think like, do I want to be married? Yeah. Do I want to have kids?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I know a lot of people who've lost marriages because like one of the people in the marriage was just like, this isn't what I want. Like finally they wake up one day and like, this is not what I wanted.
Right.
But they didn't take the time, like, especially because like, this is what you do. You get married, you buy a house, you get a dog, you have kids. Like this is the order of things.
Yeah.
But like, they never really stopped to think like, do I really want to have children?
Yeah.
Is this a responsibility I want for the rest of my life? Like I did not want kids, mainly because I raised 1,500 other people's 13-year-olds. Yeah. That'll do it. I'm done. But like, I think it's a really great thing that like, when you look back on your life, you're like, even though this might've been really hard. Cause like, I remember when I was there helping you, with your studio, we found that piece of paper where you had budgeted out how much you had to make as a designer.
Yeah.
To make the shortfall for your budget. To
Yeah.
buy groceries. To buy groceries.
And diapers and
diapers. And I remember looking at that piece of paper with you.
Yeah.
And like, though I'm sure at that point in your life, you were like, this was a huge mistake. What have I done? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like when you look back at that, you think, wow, that was really hard, but I'm really glad I kept with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely. It was a way more thinker book than I really like. You know what I mean? But it does.
I don't know that I'm not sure that that sounds like a great story, but I'm not sure I'm in a
I would never have picked it myself. It's not my type of book.
Sure.
But
I'm just not sure that I'm in a mental space to like read that. That's a heavy book.
Oh, it is. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And so like, I'm glad you like kind of gave me the rundown there, because I would have immediately gone and downloaded it, because I'm just rereading books that I have because I can't make a decision of what to read.
Yeah. So, I mean, will I read it again? No.
Are you glad you read it though?
I don't know if glad is the right word. I'm not unhappy.
Okay. Did you appreciate
it? I appreciate it. Yeah. So the next book that we're reading is All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. And I guess Ashley Flowers lives here in Indiana.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know. But that's our next book. So fun story. So the new book I've been reading is End of Story. I just finished it by Caitlyn Scott.
I was going to download that and read it.
Yeah, I read that. You know what? I wanted to leave a review of it. It's like a palate cleanser. It reminds me very much of like a Lauren Blakely.
Perfect.
Yep, it's like a palate cleanser. It's like 8 hours, not too bad. Andy Arndt is the narrator. She's amazing.
I love Andy Arndt.
I love Andy Arndt. And
my
so
husband actually recognizes her voice.
Yeah. Like she's
Dave's like, is this that Andy lady? I'm like, yes.
Yeah. It's really good. So I just finished that. Midnight Library. Oh, I'm rereading A Court of Roses, but I'm on A Court of Wings and Ruins. I'm on the third book.
Oh, you're on the third one.
Because I just felt like it. I was like, I just want to read those again. I started to read the Mountain High. Yeah, I read that. The High Mountain Court.
Yeah, was that good?
Here's my honest answer. I don't remember it. So take that for what it's worth.
Okay. I'm rereading Marked Men.
Oh, I love those.
I'm on Nash, and I know I'm going to sob uncontrollably because I'm not going to ruin it if y'all haven't read Marked Men. I love these stories. And really, I don't know why. Like, I could just skip. They're all standalone books. I could just skip to it. I just want to get to Built, which is not Marked Men. It's Heroes of Denver. But like, that's where I want to get, because I love that story so much. Mm-hmm. I've read that book probably. That's like my I can't make a decision palate cleanser. I will rebuild. I've read that book probably 10 times. I don't know. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I like Kylie Scott's books. They're good.
I love it. And so I was, and so like, Jay Crownover. Love her. Love her. I've read almost everything she's written. I'm behind by like 4 books, so I should really just like get my crap together about whatever. And so like I started with Rule because I saw on one of my book groups that Rule is going to be made into a movie. Now, y'all, I need to go ahead and preface this. It is being made into a YA novel movie. This is not a YA book.
It's not a YA book.
Not a YA book.
No.
At all. In any way, shape, form, or fashion.
No.
And it's being produced by the people who produced The Notebook. And I think that there's going to be a massive outcry when a bunch of moms are like, oh, my daughter wants to go see that movie Rule. It's made by The Notebook people. It'll be fine. No, friend.
Well, that just makes you wonder, what are they going to take out?
Well, like the very okay, look, so for me,
I was first like, scene is him walking naked.
It's not even him walking naked. It is him laying naked in a bed with his one night stand.
I wasn't going to give that away.
And like, y'all, you need to understand, like, this is a group of men who are tattooed and pierced.
Pierced. Not just on the ears.
Not on just their faces. It's not just here.
No.
So yeah. And I'm like, how is that good? Like, and like, I read the whole thing and I was like, maybe it's not as racy. And I was like, no.
No, it is. It full
like,
on is.
Racy.
It's super. I mean, I could absolutely see how it could be made into a movie and be a very good story. Like,
it would be a great movie.
I see it all the way through.
When it said YA, like I tagged Marley, like, is this happening? Because like I was like, did I read that right? But I didn't want to like say that in the group, so I just tagged Marley. Like no explanation, just tagged Marley. And she's like, YA? I was like, I think there's going to be a lot of very surprised parents.
I'm like, no, YA, Twilight is YA. Twilight
this is
YA.
not
this
YA.
Is not.
Nothing Jay Crownover writes is YA.
No.
Especially because Jay Crownover deals
so
with
good.
Look, she deals with mental health. She deals with loss. She deals with grief. She deals with people who have a sordid history and like the struggle of having a relationship and that it is hard.
Yeah.
It is not like, oh, everything's happily ever after. Like when you read, like when I was reading Rome's story, you hear about the troubles that Rule has. Like it's not just all like sunshine and roses when it ends. Like marriage is hard.
Yeah.
And like she doesn't shy away from that. So like if you've read He's Better When He's Bad, like that series, or The Point, I love The Point so much. If you've read those series, like these are not good dudes. Like they're criminals. Full stop. These are not good men. Doesn't mean I don't like them.
I think that's the beauty of it, though, is you can see the redeeming character of people, even like, when they're not making the best choices in life.
Like, even though he's a bad, like, look, I don't know if you've read it. I'd have to look up the title. I don't remember what it is. I think it's the first book. So, like, there's the Better When He's Bad series, and then that translates. Then that's kind of like how Marked Men moves to Saints of Denver. Like, they're kind of connected. So they have the Better When He's Bad series, I think is what that's called. And then there's the second one, the second like half or the extension of that is The Point. And I think it's the first book in the Point series. It might not be. I don't remember because I literally binged it. I don't remember where one book ends and one book starts. Like I couldn't.
Yeah, there's so many.
There's so many.
It's not
but there's one book.
Or respect or honor.
Hang on, I've just got to look. I'm just gonna look it up when I'm
Riveted. I mean, they're really good.
They're really good. If you guys
the
like
newer ones now, they're of the kids. They're like Rule and Jet's kids.
Well, and also she's got she has another series that's like set in the mountains. That series is really good, and there's two of those that I have not listened to. I've listened to Retreat, Shelter. That's
from Colorado Springs. So like these are set in Denver, you guys, which is really cool for me because I'm like, I mean, that's where I'm from. I love it.
Okay, let's see. I think it might be Dignity. Hang on. I have to go click these because like I don't remember what they're called.
Yeah, I have them all. I've read them all. It's been a while. I don't know. They're fun.
I can't remember, but like he is legit a gangster. Like it's Honor. It's Honor. It's Honor. It's The Breaking Point is Honor. It's book one. I was right. It is. He's straight up a criminal. Like there's no two ways around it. He is straight up a bad dude. Okay. Like the origin of their story is actually bloody. And I read that book and I was like, absolutely.
I love that.
Like for sure. I was like, yes, 100% in.
Okay. So I'm going to change topics here real quick.
Okay.
Because this weekend I'm going to eat like a fruit bar thing.
Okay.
This weekend we went and saw Ant and Wasp, the Quantumania or whatever it is.
Yes.
Loved it. You know what I loved most about it is it was different. Yes. I feel like we are in a wash, rinse, repeat cycle of movies right now. And it was different. Kimothy, it was Jay Crownover was who we were just talking about.
It's Jay Crownover. She's great.
But I mean, I love Marvel movies.
Sure,
100%. I think they're wonderful. I love the stories. I like this new direction they're going with Kong the Conqueror, like whatever his name is. Kang, there he is. Kang. So I mean, it's very interesting. The whole multiverse stuff. It's very exciting.
Okay, so I saw that you went to go see Ant-Man and Wasp, and so Dave and I decided to go see that movie yesterday.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we went. It's the first movie that we have gone to since Thor: Love and Thunder.
Okay? Oh, which I loved. I loved it.
I didn't.
Loved it.
I didn't.
I did. I loved it.
I thought it was fun. Is it a movie that I'm going to like go back and rewatch? No. Will I rewatch Ant-Man and Wasp? Absolutely, I will. And I agree. It was kind of like there's a formula to it, like rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. And if you watch all of the first generation, I don't know what you call it, like the first phases that lead up to Endgame,
Yeah.
They're very like, it's a very formulaic movie formula. Right. Origin, conflict, falls in love, saves the world. Like it's very much that thing. So I do like that with Kang, it is definitely going to give them a different way to do it. Mm-hmm. I really love that. And I think it's really interesting that I don't know his name. I can't remember his name, but the actor who plays Kang.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know, there's lots of versions of Kang. Okay. Like there's lots of versions. That's not necessarily a spoiler. You would know that if you'd watched Loki.
I just read something about him. I guess he went to Yale.
Yeah, he's legit, like really
like Yale actor school. It's not the word. I can't think of it. Yeah.
But he has decided not to watch any of the movies or any of his performances because he has to play so many different versions of himself. He doesn't want them, so many different versions of not himself. Yeah, because he doesn't want them to inform the others, which makes total sense. But like, that's going to be hard, bro. Yeah, have you seen the internet?
Thousands and thousands and thousands.
Yeah. So here's a fun story. So again, first time Dave and I had gone to a movie in almost a year, right? Uh-huh. Like it's been a minute. And like we have like the AMC app or whatever. So we buy our tickets on our phone and then we pre-order our snacks so that we don't have to wait in line. They're just like there when we get there. That's how we do it. And Barbara also, can you add Jay Crownover for Barbara? Because she wants to know who that author was. And so when I get there, like they have it in the app where they can like, you can have it delivered to your seat. They didn't offer me an option to like, not like, I'll just go pick it up. They didn't have an option for that. So I was like, okay, they're going to deliver it to our seat. So like we scan our little tickets and we go into the movie theater and we sit down and like, we got there right as the movie was about to start, like right when the previews were about to start. And like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't think they're going to come with our food. And like, we hadn't had lunch. So we had ordered like nachos and a hot dog. Like, so like there was a significant amount. I was like, I wonder if they just can't get it up here. Like we're at the very top of this theater. Like chances are they just can't, like they're short staffed. It's a Monday afternoon. No big deal. So I go, like I leave the theater. The previews have started and I'm a person who enjoys a movie preview.
I do too.
Like I like the previews as much as I like the actual film. Like I like to make a plan. This is a movie I want to see. Absolutely no interest. Like we have a rating system. Like absolutely not. I'll go see it if you really want to and there's nothing else out. And absolutely we will not miss this movie. Like we have a rating system in like that's how we do previews. And I leave and I go and and there are two people behind the counter and these two kids, and they're kids. They're like 16, 17 years old. And look, they're not moving with any kind of speed. Okay. But there are two people and they're serving every single person who comes through that line. And so I'm like, I wonder if they just like, it's sitting over in the warmer and like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so like, I go stand in a little like A-list line or whatever, because I've already ordered. And so like, I stand over there and he's like, can we help you? And I was like, I had an online order. Like it was supposed to be delivered and I'm guessing you guys are short staffed. So like I just came to pick it up. And he's like, nobody's doing online orders. And I'm like, but like
my money.
I paid for that.
Yeah.
Like you have my money and I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And so they were like, well, what was your order? I was like, because Dave and I did it separately because I was at work. So like he did it on his phone, I did it on mine. So like mine was like a popcorn and a drink and like some snacks, right? And Dave ordered like a hot dog and a nachos and because like we were going to share the popcorn. And then he had a drink. And so I was like, okay. And they were like, well, what'd you have? And I tell them, and I wait another 5 or 10 minutes and they finally get my order to me, right? And so I'm like, well, I have another order. It's for David Martin. It's this. And they're like, and I was like, I'll just come back down because I couldn't carry it all by myself anyway. So like I hike myself all the way to the top of the thing, right? And I put my food down and tell Dave that I'm going to go get his food. And I go back down there, okay? Now, when I was there, the dude who's at the register, like there's one kid who's doing all the food prep. Like he's doing the ovens, he's doing the popcorn, he's doing all of it. And the other kid is the one doing all the order processing, all the rewards points, all things. Like these two guys they have not stopped yet. They asked for help when I was there the first time. Like he got on the radio. He's like, we need help in concessions. There's 15 people in line. And I'm like waiting for the food that I've already ordered. Right. And so I watch a kid literally walk into the concessions area, put on gloves, and then walk in the back and futz around on his phone.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And then I look out into the lobby because it's like one of those fancy movie theaters where like you can get a drink before you go in or whatever. And I watch 5 I'm not kidding you. 5 individuals watch 1 individual move a table.
Oh,
5 people were watching 1 person. And I was like, is this some sort of like really messed up version of Black Mirror? Like, am I living in a Twilight Zone? What is going on? And so like, I come back down and they're like, did you forget something? Like, these 2 dudes now recognize me because I've been here for 15 minutes. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And so like, and I was like, you know what? It's not my business. It's not my business. They're doing the best they can. I'm not going to be upset with them. Like, they're doing the best they can. They're obviously short-staffed. And then I watched not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 people. 7 walk into the concessions area, go to the back, do something on their phones with their headphones in, and then walk out by walking behind the 2 people who are doing all the work. Nope. I'm done. I'm officially done. Like, I have now missed all of the previews. My husband still doesn't have his food. We haven't had lunch. Like, we're hungry. My popcorn's getting cold. My drink is melting. I want to go to my movie. And I'm like, this is not a teenager problem. This is a management.
Yeah. And
so, and a dude walks out, super sweet, also probably 15, 16 years old. Are you a manager? Because he's in a different colored shirt, right? I'm like, are you a manager? And he's like, no, ma'am. And I was like, can you get me one of those? And he's like, yes, ma'am. So he disappears into the back. And then 30 seconds later, someone who is also probably only 17 or 18 comes out and she's like, hi, you want to talk to a manager? I'm like, are you a person in charge of putting people in their jobs and telling them what to do? She's like, I'm a supervisor. I said, that's not an answer to my question. Do you have the authority to tell people what they should be doing? And she said, no. And I said, who does? And she said, a manager. I said, I would like to speak to one of those. And so I'm still waiting. Meanwhile, these poor people they're still waiting on all the people in line. I can see people standing in the back doing nothing. And they are also making my food, okay, for my husband. So I am like, we're here. Lindsey is done. Lindsey has no feelings to your job. Like, full stop. And Dave is texting me like, it's a loss. Let it go. I'm like, nope, I missed it. I'm done. We're going to have words. And he's like, oh dear. Like, literally his response was, okay. MKAY. Okay. And so a dude walks up, he's probably 22. And he's like, are you the one who wanted to see a manager?
Are you the one?
Meanwhile, I've struck up a conversation with the lady beside me who's just trying to get a Coke, like regular old Coca-Cola out of those stupid freestyle machines that never taste right. And like, she's like, it's been wrong the whole time. Like, well, what have you been drinking? She's like, whatever came out. And I was like, oh my God. And so like the dude who I originally spoke to is like changing out the little things and like all of the freestyle machines are down. So now there's 15 people waiting to get a drink. I'm like, this is insane. And I looked at him and I was like, are you the person in charge of putting people in their job and telling them to do it? Yes, ma'am. I said, we need to have a conversation. And he's like, well, those men, I'm like, no. You are not going to stand here and tell me that those 2 people are not doing everything they're supposed to be doing. Those 2 gentlemen have called and asked for help in the concessions area 3 times since I've been down here. And though I can see 5 of your employees who are collecting the exact same paycheck, standing in the back doing nothing but listening to their music on their phones and scrolling TikTok, those 2 people are actually doing the work. And if they decided to not do the work, you would be screwed. I said, so I've watched people walk behind them and ignore them. I watched somebody put on gloves, go in the back, futz around on his phone, and then leave. I said, the people who are doing the job are getting paid as the people, same as the people who are not. These 2 human beings deserve better from you. Be better. And he was like, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you think I was going to complain about the people who are working hard? No, I'm complaining about the management. This is a management problem. This is not a personnel problem. This is a management problem. I said, I haven't come to a movie with my husband in over a year. I ordered my food on an app, which was told to be delivered to me when my movie started. All of those orders are sitting on that screen right there with more than 2 hours on them. You know how I know? I know when I ordered my food. But no one's here managing those orders because you have people literally standing around watching people move tables. And I watched you be one of them. Be better. I was like, and these poor people can't even get a Coke, an actual Coke. And he's like, what? I was like, these people, I said, this individual has been trying to fix your freestyle for 40 minutes. This woman missed the last 10 minutes of her movie. You going to compensate her? He's like, well, no, you are not going to tell me that's not your problem. That is your problem. You're the manager. You are to manage the people and products in this space. Be better. And he's like, I said, look, I've missed all of the previews with my husband. I've missed the beginning of my movie because you couldn't do your job. He's like, well, I'll have a talk with the people. I'm like, why did I have to prompt you to do your job? Be better. At this point, I now have a crowd. I'm shocked. You're shocked. We're all shocked. No, we're not. Right? And he's like, well, I'm glad to compensate you. I'm like, screw it. I'm like, I have like the pass or whatever. I can see 3 movies a week. Like, I'll just come back tomorrow and watch the previews and the first 30 minutes of the movie and leave. Like, I said, I realized that it was a weekend just yesterday and that you guys have big weekend plans, but I can't come on a weekend because I work in retail. I can come on a Monday afternoon. I deserve the same treatment as the people who come on the weekends. And that means that on Monday, you have to do your job the same way you do it on Sunday and Saturday. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Be better. All of the people who work here deserve more from you. Meanwhile, the sweet little person behind the counter has brought me all of my food. I'm standing there with my food and I was like, be better. And I just turned around and walked away. And he's like, well, someone will meet you at the end of the movie with movie passes. I'm like, right.
Sounds like you had a great time at the movie. Did you like the movie?
I loved the movie. The movie was great. You know what? But the best part of this is, right? I'm sitting there eating my popcorn. Dave is eating his hot dog. We are enjoying the movie. No big deal, right? I'm eating my bunch of crunch, like living my truth. Just enjoying the movie, right? Because there's no one else in the theater. It's just me and Dave, which is why we go on a Monday. Like, that's why we go. And so I was like, so then all of a sudden someone comes barreling up the stairs. We're at the very back of the theater. That's where we like to be in the theater. We like to be in the very back. So we're at the very top of this theater and someone comes and she goes, are you Lindsey? Yeah. She's like, here's your food. And I was like, is this a joke? And she's like, no. And I was like, no, this is a joke. And I was like, I am currently eating my food because I stood down there for 30 minutes and then yelled at your manager.
Right.
About your manager. And she's like, just take it. I was like, great. So then I'm expecting Dave's order to show up like 3 or 4 minutes later.
Right.
No, it didn't. And then I was like, now he got his food. Like, we got what we paid for. So literally, I just handed him my bucket of popcorn. I was like, we don't have to share anymore. And like, I didn't touch the other soda because like, it's a gallon jug.
Yeah, they're huge.
Right? But conveniently, I dropped my bunch of crunch like between the 2 seats and I couldn't get it out. So I was like, well, that worked out. So I opened my second one.
That's hilarious.
Right? But my favorite part of it is that like we stayed for like the end credit scenes. Like we wait until the very end.
So do we.
Because that's who we are.
Yeah.
And I'm leaving, and the kid who was the kid who I originally asked to get me a manager, who was fixing the freestyle machine, because like I looked at him, I'm like, you are doing a great job. Thank you so much for all of your troubleshooting. Like, because he was definitely almost in tears. Like for sure, he was about to cry. He was so frustrated. So like I was trying to encourage him while yelling at manager man who doesn't know how to do his job. Yeah. And so he was the guy who's like there to clean the thing, and I was like, hey, did you manage to get it fixed, or like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, no, we got it fixed. We really appreciate you. What? And like this other kid who I saw slacking off, I pointed at that person as a slacker, goes, thank God somebody said it. He needed to hear it. What? I was like, what? And he goes, oh, he needed to hear it. Nobody does their job here because he doesn't make them. And I was like, look, my name's Lindsey. You need me to come yell at your manager? Call me anytime. Glad to do it. I was like, you guys are doing the work and he's sitting around twiddling his thumbs and he collects way more money than you are. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the kid that I pointed at for slacking was like, oh no, he needed it. He needed a good reaming. I was like, what?
Oblivious.
Like, and I was like, how does this person still have a job? Because like, my guess is when people go and complain, they complain like there's only 2 people back here. And he's like, yeah. Like, no, that's not the kids behind the things problem. That's your problem, you dork.
Yeah.
Like, and like, when I got back up there, Dave was like, so like, I'm carrying his food. Like, I hand him his food, right? And I got there right as the movie started. So I didn't even miss any minutes.
Good.
Right. I did, however, miss the Fast and Furious 10 trailer and the Indiana Jones trailer. Not pleased.
I like the Indiana Jones trailer. I don't care about Fast and Furious.
I'm invested now. I've seen all of them. I have to. Like,
I don't care.
A moral obligation. And so, so like we're enjoying our food, and Dave goes, "I'm gonna want that story while we're waiting through the credits."
Nice.
And then when we got in the car, he's like, "That's gonna be a great story for your podcast."
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Literally, the kids who were not doing anything were like, finally, somebody told him to do his job. Oh my Lord. Like, can you imagine? I would have, oh my God. Like, even as a teenager, I would have been like, that person is an idiot.
Yeah.
He's like, somebody needed to say it. What? Like, Dave even did like a, what?
Well, even at the same time, if you know you're supposed to be doing your job, do your job. Do your job.
But like, if you're some 16-year-old, you don't give a crap. You're collecting a paycheck anyway. Like, that's that generation.
That's the mentality. Absolutely.
That's the mentality. Like, I would never have been able to do that. I would have felt so guilty. There's no way I could have done that. And I feel like the 2 kids who were making the food were those kids. Like, I'm being paid to be here. I have to do my job. And I was like, how is this person still in charge?
Right.
Like, am I writing a letter to the general manager of AM? Yes. Yes, I am. Because the people who work there deserve better. Mm-hmm. Like, if they're going to be there to serve me so that I can go enjoy my movie, everybody there deserves to do this, to carry the same load. Right. If they're all collecting a paycheck.
I hear you.
Like, I literally said, this is the worst high school group project I've ever seen in my whole life. I said, they're all collecting a paycheck and you are only making 2 people work. Be better.
That's crazy.
And the lady at the Coke thing was like, can I get some compensation? I was like, give that woman her money back.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
And Dave was like, I can't. He's like, I was like, oh no, I was done. Like, I was like simmering and like super frustrated. They didn't have my food ready. And then when I saw 3 people just like scrolling TikTok, nope, I'm done. Look, I love a good TikTok. I love a reel. I can spend hours, but I don't do it in my job.
I hear you. Well, I'm glad you liked the movie. I liked the movie. I liked it so much.
I love the movie.
Like, I finished the movie, and before the credits were running, I was like, now I want to go home and I want to watch Loki again, like the TV series, because it's so good.
It's so good.
I watched everything. I was like, oh, that makes me want to. And so we get home, and John, who doesn't really like Marvel very much, he'll watch it, but he doesn't really like it.
Oh, that's
he liked Ant-Man. He liked this one.
It's not. It doesn't follow the formula.
No, it's really different. It was different. You know what it was like? It felt like it was like Tron and Star Wars meshed together, thrown in the Marvel universe. That's what it felt like.
That's accurate.
That's what it felt like. So we get home and he's like, "Hey, we haven't watched Wakanda Forever." I was like, oh, "We haven't."
I haven't watched it. I haven't seen it.
Okay. I think the way they paid tribute to the former Black
I can't think of his name, but I can see his face. What's his
name?
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah. I thought that was excellent. And I absolutely full on cried, like full on, like I just did. I like the story. I like where they're taking it. And there's a whole nother world realm sort of thing here that the story can go. Like, it's just I really enjoyed it.
I really want to watch that. We haven't watched it, and that's one of the things that, like, we came home, we're like, oh, we could watch Wakanda Forever. But we had started The Sandman on Netflix. It was a graphic novel written by Neil Gaiman. They've turned into a show. And it is look, I love Neil Gaiman. I think he's an incredible writer. I loved Stardust, beautiful story, Graveyard Book, Sandman. I have never read Sandman. But I love Neil Gaiman. I love his storytelling, his world building. I think he's very, very talented. And I also think he's often overlooked because Sandman is a graphic novel. And a lot of people think that graphic novels aren't like novels. And I don't feel that way. And so Dave and I had started Sandman. We'd watched like 2 episodes the night before. And like we came home, we were like, or we could watch Sandman. And so we came home and like, because we snacked on way more food than we purchased, right? Because of the whole ordeal, I was like, I'm not really hungry for dinner. Like, I don't want to eat. And he's like, me neither. And so like, we didn't have like a plan. So we just like, oh, I'll eat in a little bit, right? And then it's like 11:30 and we only have 2 episodes left. And we're like, well, now we're in it, right? So we have 2 episodes of Sandman left. I am very interested to see how they do it because it's like the 2nd season has already been greenlit. And I'm super excited. Like, it's such good story building. And that is one of the things I think Neil Gaiman does really well. Like, if you like a fantasy fae realm, it is a standalone book. It has some sauce to it. It's a little spicy. It's not super spicy. I would maybe like half a chili. It's not like super spicy. But Stardust is utterly amazing.
I'll have to give that a try.
And the audiobook is stellar.
Fantastic.
So that's but yeah, so we were gonna watch Wakanda Forever, but we got sucked into the Sandman, no pun intended. And now we have to finish that before we can do Wakanda Forever because now I have to know.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it a lot. So I will download Stardust and Sandman, I guess. I don't know. You know, I don't watch.
I haven't read Sandman. Okay. Here's the thing that I will say. The people who I know who have read Sandman even said that the show is very different, but they still like it.
Okay.
And then the other thing is like people who are like, it's not like the book. Neil Gaiman came, like, he's very big on Twitter. He's always tweeting something. And he was like, I don't care. I did. Like, I love it. Or like when people are like, oh, I'm never getting anywhere in my life. He's like, I didn't get my first book published till I was like 42 or something. Like, talks about like how he has imposter syndrome. He's great. Like, I like to read his tweets when someone posts them on Facebook because I can't go on Twitter.
Yeah, I can't go on Twitter. It's a non-issue for me. So. All right, girlfriend, I have got to wrap it up because I got to get some food before I go to track because track is back in season. But this was fun. I mean, it was neat getting to talk to Caitlyn. It was fun talking to Caitlyn. Yeah. Very weird not knowing who's coming on because I'm like, I don't know what to say. So that's very cool. But when we come back, it'll have to be like middle of March. We'll be back here just because we're gonna have to. We have
March is the 21st. March is the 21st.
The 21st.
Yes, that's what I have written down. Is that not gonna work?
I think you're gonna have to do it sooner.
Oh,
because I think that the.
Oh, we're doing it for the big secret.
That's what I thought.
You're frozen. You're muted.
No. We're having the podcast on March 21st because your schedule, Marley, is a lot of fun. Track season is the key word in there. So it doesn't matter when other things are happening.
Oh, okay.
Your schedule's bananas. So no.
This is why I pay her.
21st. March 21st.
Like, I have it written on my wall.
Yeah. When we're doing this again. But
April is the 24th. May is the 23rd. That's as far as we've scheduled.
It won't matter because your big surprise, your big news that you can talk about, we're going to talk about in other ways.
We can do a live some other time if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I have to go to the bathroom like more than I could ever express. So I'm going to say this was exciting. I love that she just pops out.
She's like no. The wizard.
She's like, here I am. All right, this was fun. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for the I'm Fine, It's Fine, Everything's Fine podcast, where we literally just talk about anything we want. Anything we want. This is where you get the most real Marley ever in the world, because if you haven't noticed, I don't hold back. I'm just talking. This is where I am. I'm having a good time, and it's just fun. All right, well, continue to follow us on social media. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you have special people you'd like to have us interview or have on here, let us know in the comments. We would love to know that. Other than that, we'll see you guys again real soon.
All right. Bye.